Hello and welcome to Simon's Trading Channel. Happy Saturday to you. Halfway through the weekend, I hope you're enjoying yourself and you've had a nice day off if you don't work the weekends. Otherwise, you haven't worked too hard. And welcome and thanks for joining me for another daily Bitcoin price action analysis. So, this, as promised yesterday, is to look to see where did CME actually close. And we've got a couple of interesting observations which we'll see in a moment. So it did close slightly lower. It's kind of like a hair's breadth. It's not hugely convincing, but it closed at 60,300. This one over here was probably closer to 60. I don't know if it was quite 61. So close. Hanging on to 60,000, which obviously is a round number, and people like round numbers. But I would say that nonetheless, that is a lower closure than over here. And throughout this range so far, this was the lowest closure, but not anymore. Now this is. It's not a lower low yet, because to be a lower low, you need to have another move up to the upside. But it's certainly starting to look like one. And some food for thought. Okay, so that's that consolidation. This consolidation over here was just really one sideways move. It didn't kind of like have an up and a down. Yeah, this ended up being the lowest closure. Then this, let's just start from the beginning of the bull run. So this move up was interesting, and you'll see why it's extra interesting in a moment. So there's a move up, move down, move up, move down. So this indeed closed below this one on CME. Look at the same weekly candle on Bybit. So this closed on a Friday, okay, keep that in mind. Look what happened over the weekend. So that's pretty interesting. Bybit then closed its weekly candle above this area. So that's pretty interesting. And then back to CME. So for that whole consolidation, the lowest weekly candle was here. It was just slightly lower there, just slightly, it's a fraction lower closure. I wonder if we're going to see something similar here. And it was kind of the same really on Bybit. So yeah, that was a significant weekly buy over the weekend, and the rest have been quite similar. So it'll be interesting to see where Bybit does close tomorrow, because at the moment it has had a $600 move up from where CME closed. So I wonder if something similar to over here will happen, but that's all in the future. So no point in trying to predict it, because you just probably won't get it right. So here's Bybit, and this is what I'm going to now reference for the lower time frames. So still got that M formation, and I was talking about the sort of closure below the neckline. On a candle closure basis, CME already did. If you take into account the wick, then it hasn't. So it just depends on how you look at them. But this is the daily chart, still pretty much going sideways. The daily range is obviously a lot different to the blue lines that I've got on, which is 4 hour range. But the daily range, you would have your bottom line here, really. So it'd be slightly wider. And then you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 3, yeah, the last 5 days have remained within that range, wick to wick. And most of the price action you can see here on the 4 hour. So leaving that same range on, you can see that there was the double top, which I talked about yesterday. It did close below the neckline, and there was some more downside, but not as much as I expected at that point. But I don't know if you remember, I did say I wouldn't be surprised if it retests that area, which is exactly what has happened. And now, yet again, Bitcoin is in a key position. So for this weekly candle to do what this one did, compared to the CME closure back over in whenever it was, end of March 23, it's got some work to do to the upside. And I would suggest that if it doesn't manage to make more upside right from where it is, so around 61,000, and more to the point, then certainly probably close a daily above 62, but better would be 62.5. If it does that, it's in with a chance. It's in with a chance of creating that buying pressure over the weekend that was seen on that other weekly candle back at the end of March 2023. So interesting. 6.5 minutes. The momentum on the 4 hour is still kind of building up towards the zero line. And just out of interest, this is now a low. Obviously, this was a low as well. And in the context of this low and then this being a lower low, but this being a low and this is a higher low, that's bullish divergence, but it's only on the 4 hour. So it's not a super strong price action to have bullish divergence. But it's, significant nonetheless. Will that divergence be enough for Bitcoin to climb any higher here? Or is it all kind of played out at this point? Well, you'll only know if Bitcoin basically gets back and closes at least a few 4 hour candles, but probably more like a daily above 62,000. And if indeed it breaks below the bottom of the range, which is the daily range, which is 60,000, it's also a round number, then I think more downside is extremely likely. So, yeah, interesting times afoot. Was there anything else I wanted to say this evening? Not hugely. It would be interesting to make a bit of a comparison between this and this now. Now, many weeks ago, I jokingly suggested, in fact, I remember when it was. It was when there were only 7 or 8 candles in this weekly consolidation. And I was comparing it to all of these other 7 or 8 candle consolidations. And the one that stuck out in my mind was this, which off the top of my head is 30. Let's just quickly measure it out to save some time, because your time is precious. 31, all right? 31. And you can see along that 31, so the move that set in the range was here. Then it did take a bit of a move up and a move down, set in the bottom of the range, then re-challenged the top of the range, didn't close above it, made a move back down to the bottom of the range, didn't close below it, and then a move back to near to the top of the range before closing back above the range, and then an upside move followed. So if we count this candle as the one that set in the range, it was very similar again. It's kind of a move up to the top of the range, move back down to the bottom of the range, move back up, re-challenged the top of the range but didn't close above it, and move back down. So this is key, right? So if this kind of consolidation pattern without breaking down is likely to occur again, that's when Bitcoin has to hold up. It has to hold up here. And can have wicks down to 56.5 for sure. But really, you don't want any weekly closures. I'm going to say 60,000 because it's a round number, but around about that. Weekly closures below 60,000, and it wouldn't look so consolidating like this. It would probably look a bit more trending to the downside. So, I just thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, yes, I hope you've enjoyed the video. There's basically the range for now. I've already called out the figures, so I think you know where they are. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And join me again tomorrow for Bybit's weekly closure on Sunday night for another daily Bitcoin price action analysis with me, Simon. Take care. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.